Warning: the following video contains explicit language, which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Hey everybody, it's Jeff. Hope everybody's, had a good weekend and everything. Remember I showed you in a previous video something I was making there that was supposed to be like a Klingon ship. Well, it's finished here. This is what I got. Okay. It's it's what I consider to be my interpretation of what their ships ought to look like, sort of like basic, blocky, tough looking things, it's just and these two things are bombs that'll blow up planets. Okay, so they got like huge, what I call planet cracker missiles. Okay, because that's how they created their empire, was by subjugating other societies and forcing them under their will. Okay, and in this part here, this is where the bridge is, and it's like that, and this is sort of like a forward sensor. This is also a sensor or a deflector, I guess, I don't know. And these are the warp nacelles, and it's got two big impulse engines. Yeah, it's, you can imagine it to be, any size you want it to make it. It's, like I said, it's very basic. I mean, they're not gonna make it look artsy or anything like that, like, Federation ships are, shaped, but they just, whatever works is what they're gonna make. Okay, so enough talk about wars and that. I saw an article here that I want to read here, and let's see. Comes from Jack Cucciarella, published today, and it's entitled "Trump Panics Over Zoran Arrest Announcement. Netanyahu Must Be Arrested." This is what Zoran Mamdani said. If Netanyahu sets foot on American soil, or especially in New York, he's going to be arrested. U.S. President Trump said on Monday that Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will not be arrested when he visits the U.S. after New York City Mayor Zoran Mamdani said he was still considering the move. Benjamin Netanyahu will not be arrested in any way, shape, or form while in the United States of America, Trump wrote in a social media post that did not refer to the mayor's comments. Let me read exactly what he posted here on Lie Social. Benjamin Netanyahu will not be arrested in any way, shape, or form while in the United States of America. He is fighting against the Islamic Republic of Iran, which recently killed 52,000 innocent protesters and has spent the last 47 years killing American soldiers and others. The only ones that should be arrested are the people that led Iran into this unprecedented spiral of death and destruction, something that should have been dealt with years ago by previous presidents, President Donald J. Trump. Okay, I don't know what the hell he's talking about. Nobody dragged Iran into this. Okay, just keep in mind, we started this fucking fight. Iran was doing what it was supposed to be doing, okay, and it was Israel. It was Israel that jumped into this thing to try to do genocide against the Iranians, okay? That's really who you should be focusing your anger on, is Israel. The United States just later decided, oh, we're going to help out Israel, and then that's when Iran said, okay, it's no holds barred. Basically, that's how, you know, it all shook down. But they didn't start it. Okay, they didn't attack us first. They attacked an ally, okay, and we're jumping into this thing with everything we got, and we're not making much headway. Okay, it's costing the country so much oil that, you know, our reserves are nearly depleted, and I don't mean depleted as a word that is being used, you know, vaguely here. I mean depleted, which means in about, you know, a couple of months from now, we could be looking at a spike in gas prices to almost double what we're paying right now, wherever you're living. Whatever the gas is where you're living, it's going to at least double in price by November, I'm going to say, okay? That's where we're standing. Now, I posted a video from Kyle Kulinski, okay, before this video I'm recording right now. I think you should watch it. I mean, it's about a half an hour long, which is why I didn't put it in this video, because I don't really want to keep people on here for fucking ever. But when you have the time, watch that, okay? Because he breaks down with much more detail than I will about how this is shaping up, this fight with Iran, okay? It's not good. Washington's lying to us about the number of people being killed over there, and I'm talking Americans, okay? They're not telling us the truth. The only people who know the truth are the ones getting their sons and daughters back in boxes, okay? And he doesn't seem to understand the nuances of fighting a war, that you don't escalate a war if things are not going your way, because the other side will compensate in the same manner, okay? And it's very clear Iran doesn't trust Trump, doesn't believe anything he says, and neither should we, honestly. If they know enough, if they're smarter than we are not to listen to that fucker, then Americans should be the same mentality. He hasn't done us any favors any more than he's doing them favors over there, okay? Especially how, you know, things are just falling apart here. The basics in our lives are falling apart because he's been plucking at all that stuff to take away from us, to put into the pockets of the wealthy, into the military, into his little his little personal projects, which he's paying on our dime. You know, all these things like, oh, let's make a statue, or let's build a ballroom. All that stuff, we're paying for it. He could probably pay out of his own goddamn wallet for all this stuff if he wanted to. But no, why do I do it when you can get the taxpayers? We're just numbers on a sheet of paper. We don't have a face, we don't have a name, we don't have eyes. He doesn't see us, okay? What he sees is a mirror, and he loves looking at himself. He's got an ego from hell, okay? And that's all he cares about. People can spit at him, throw the finger at him, boo him wherever he goes. It don't matter. It goes in and out, okay? He doesn't care. A man who's so self-centered as he is only cares about how he looks to himself, okay? I mean, I don't know any other way to describe the guy, but his ego has betrayed him in life, because it's caused him to lose respect. It's caused him to fail at various enterprises, okay? It's caused him to become the most hated man on the face of the earth at this point. I think even rivals Putin right now, and Netanyahu. So we got three assholes running things in this world that are really fucking things up. Because, like I said, if we end up having to pay a whole lot more for gas in the days to come, so is the rest of the world. Because the situation right now in the Middle East is that they're trying to destroy avenues of getting oil out. Iran is trying to basically cut the head off. Okay, and that can only lead to an escalation of unprecedented proportions. I mean, we're talking nukes, we're talking, the biggest bombs we've ever had. Okay, we're going to be talking about devastation on that kind of level here. When it gets that desperate, Trump will push the buttons. We know this. I mean, do you think Pete Hegseth is going to stop him? The Secretary of War Crimes? Of course he won't. Of course he won't. He's like I said, a war criminal himself. He will push for it. And that's why I'm saying, it may be too late by November to vote in a whole Democrat takeover. It may be too late by then. And I just wish our military today had the balls they used to have once to know when to say no. Okay? They're being led by a flawed criminal lunatic. They have to see this. They have to see this. I mean, these people know all the real numbers. We don't, but they do. They know the devastation that's being caused, and they should be the ones to say enough is enough. We took an oath to fight enemies foreign and domestic. Trump is now our domestic enemy. We have to fight him back. We have to take him out of office because he's destroying the country. If our military leaders are so patriotic right now, and they have that training to help them distinguish between what kind of orders are good and what kind of orders are bad, then they need to practice what they've been teaching the underlings all these years, the people just coming in to be officers. Because if they don't follow those rules, what the fuck is any of them going to follow those rules? Okay? Somebody has to stand up. And the military, they should just stop. I mean, what the hell is Pete Hegseth and all them going to do? They're all part of the same cabal of fucking traitors to this country. The military, it really needs to take over until November, I guess, to stop everything happening in Washington, D.C. Okay? Somebody needs to put a pause, okay, that nothing is going to happen in the Congress or the Senate or the Supreme Court or anything until we reach the election time and we have some new people seated in office. Because if we wait too fucking long, the damage will be so severe that, it probably already is. It probably already is. The damage is probably so severe now that it won't be fixed anytime soon. Okay? We're still going to have to figure out how to get, our oil because Trump is casually bombing all kinds of areas where the oil's not going to get through. And, and Iran is basically trying to hit targets in the Middle East where there's oil, okay, which is pissing off Saudi Arabia. So when you got this kind of an escalation happening, what do you think is going to happen? I mean, the oil at this point in time is the blood of the earth, okay? And it's been flowing to all limbs of the planet. You cut the heart off and the body dies. And people, it's not just going to affect the United States, it's going to affect every other fucking country. China's got a lot of oil. Okay, they got a lot. And Russia, well, their country's getting destroyed, so China just may go in there and start pumping oil out of their country, just to increase. China's going to be the last man standing at the end of all this. It's going to become the Emerald City on the hill. Okay, think about that. I mean, I'm not trying to, exaggerate things, but that's what I'm seeing is shaping up here. China is going to end up being the place we all should go to, okay, if you want to make it good living, a job and stuff like that, because we're not going to have that anymore here, people. That's coming to a screeching halt. The economy is going to grind to a fucking halt. All the little stores you guys been shopping in and stuff like that, one by one, they're going to close their doors because they won't be able to get merchandise at a cheap rate, and you won't be able to afford it if they do. That includes your food. I mean, right now, the farmers across the country are devastated by what's already been done. And right now, if a person from China goes up to a farmer and says, "I would like to buy your land," you know, for do whatever, I guess, farm it or build on it, why would they say no? They need the money. Okay? You see what I'm saying? This is going to be ripe. America's going to be ripe for other nations to take, because we won't be able to fight back. So all this shit here about, oh, we're trying to prevent China from taking, that's all for naught, okay? Eventually, people will have a price, and if they can meet that price, it's yours. Take it. After a few years, the flag won't mean nothing. The American flag will just simply disappear, and you'll be seeing, you know, China flag hoisted over our land. That's how America will die. Another country will slowly buy up all the what's, you know, hanging by a thread, basically. Okay? Just like we've been doing to other countries in the world, Americanizing them and stuff like that. We've been going around buying up this, buying up that. Now that's going to happen to us. And I think in some regard, you know, that would be good in the short term for people that are going to lose everything they have here in days to come. But at the same time, the country is going to look and feel a whole lot different. Okay, Washington may not be the same thing anymore. Okay, it might just be another city in the country, and the DC area will just be a museum to what once was. Okay, but it will kind of look like that if we don't stop what we're doing. If we don't stop Trump from what he's doing. Okay, because I don't see how this can go any other way. Anyone who knows anything about history can see that there's no good to come out of what we've done so far. There isn't any good. None. There's no recovery from what we've been doing. Anyone that's been telling you, oh, well, the United States will stand, forget that. It's just propaganda. Stop listening to that shit, okay? Reality says otherwise, and so does history. No, we're no better than any other country that's come out and died around the corner, okay? We can die just as fast, if not faster. The country's only 250 years old. That's a very young nation to die so quickly, okay? But that's what's going to happen, because we've allowed corruption to wiggle its way right up the ranks, right to the head of the country. And once that's happened, it's like a cancer. It will kill. So, like I said, people, you've got to put aside all your preconceptions about America the Great, America is perfect and all this stuff. Put that aside, okay? For the sake of this country, stop thinking that way. You can still love your country, okay? You can love your country when it's doing good, and you can love your country when it's doing bad because you want to fix it, so that way you can have it back, okay? You could still love your country, either way. Just because you say you see all kinds of corruption going on doesn't mean you hate America. It just means you recognize America is sick, and it needs, you know, it needs a vaccination, okay? And that's us. We are the vaccination. We, the people, are the ones that have the ability to bring some change here in this country. And if we don't take the fucking pill or the shot, if we don't give this country a shot, it's dead. It is dead. You know? And I can't tell you people enough how important November is going to be. Okay? No matter who the hell's running. Okay? Even if you can't stand the other side, okay? If you go with the flow, if you go with the name you know, you're just crucifying this country. You're driving that fucking nail into the hand, okay, of America. That's what you're doing. If you stay home and not vote, again, you're driving that nail into the hand of the country. That's what you're doing. It is a must that everybody who can vote gets out and votes this November. Everybody. I mean everybody. Okay? No more excuses. No more I can't go because I got a job or I got an appointment. This is a blood sport. I told you before, politics is a blood sport. Why? Because if it's treated like a video game, nothing good ever comes out of it. But if you want to fight and sweat and tear to get things, you know, going your way, then you must. because that's your duty as a citizen of this country. Okay? It's not, it's not up to people, like the military or the veterans to do that job for you. No. It's up to all of us. Okay? Those people in Washington are few. We are many. Our voices are many. We shouldn't be bullied by the few in Washington, D.C. to keep this country going right down the fucking toilet, okay? There's no excuse for that. We have the larger momentum. We have the voice. We have the power to change that if we vote. It's a simple thing. I'm not asking you to pick up a gun and go fight in a war. I'm asking you to get up. It only takes, a few minutes to fill out these fucking cards. That's it. Okay? That's it. And then when things, then you could take a measure of pride in yourself that, hey, I did something. Okay? You can actually feel like, well, I didn't sit it out and it's not part of my responsibility. Okay? Don't have to feel guilty. Just go. Okay? If somebody can't drive, take them with you. Okay? If it's an elderly person and they can't drive, but they can still vote, take them. Take them with you. Okay? Make the extra effort. Round up as many people as you can who are able to vote and bring them to the polls. Do whatever it takes to make them go. Okay? It's really a must. This is very important because I don't see a very good outcome by the end of this year for our country. I really don't. I told you our time is limited. It's like a clock ticking right now. Okay? And I don't know what's going to happen. I know it won't be good, but it's going to be bad. And I know that a lot of us are going to wish that we got off our ass and did something when it meant something at the time. Okay? That's what I'm thinking here, is we really have to do something about this. It's got to stop. Let's go to a commercial break. We'll be back.
I'm Alex Curtis. I'm a lobsterman in Maine, and this is me.
I'm Roxy Sugar, and this is me.
I'm Eric Hopkins. I'm an artist, and this is me.
This
is me.
me.
This is me.
This is me.
At the end of the journey, the main thing is you, original.
When Donald Trump said we'd be winning so much under him, we'd get sick of it. Well, I'm sick of it, all right. My kids have measles, I lost my job, I've got explosive diarrhea from a parasite RFK Jr. told the CDC to stop monitoring. But somewhere in Shoot Your Dinner, Arkansas, a Confederate flag is flying over the county courthouse again. So, is America great again yet? We're defunding pediatric cancer research because apparently leukemia has pronouns now, but Donald Trump made it safe to say Merry Christmas again, rescuing millions of Americans from the annual Yuletide terror of saying the exact same thing they've always said. Is America great again yet? The bun on a Big Mac is now nutritionally superior to the lettuce. The strawberries have hepatitis, the cucumbers have salmonella, the cows have worms. At this point, the safest thing in the produce aisle is the misting machine. Is America great again yet? It's 99 degrees. Acid rain is falling through an orange sky that looks like Satan microwaved a Hot Pocket and forgot to pierce the film. You can't breathe the air, drink the water, eat anything that once had roots. So naturally, we're spending hundreds of billions of dollars tearing down wind energy infrastructure and bringing back coal, because nothing says future like reopening the fuel source that gave Victorian children black lung at age 9. Is America great again yet? Our national parks are being stripped for parts like a stolen Kia behind an abandoned Pep Boys. History is being erased from museums because apparently the past was too divisive and made several white men feel a sensation dangerously adjacent to learning. And now Donald Trump's stupid fucking face is headed for our passports and our coins because every healthy constitutional republic eventually decides the dear leader should double as a souvenir. Is America great again yet? We're still trapped in a protracted war that Donald Trump insists isn't a war. that he says we won on day one, 5 months ago. Apparently we won so hard we're still bombing Tehran and it's still costing us tens of billions of dollars. That's like declaring the kitchen spotless while the house is still on fire. Is America great again yet? Your workplace is less safe, your air is toxic, your water is poison, your groceries come with a side of gastrointestinal roulette. You can't afford gas, you can't afford rent, you can't afford utilities, you couldn't afford a house, even if one weren't being rented to you by a hedge fund named something reassuring like Widowmaker Capital. But Donald Trump is getting a ballroom and a helipad on our dime, because while you were choosing between electricity and parasite medication, the president apparently needs a ballroom where foreign billionaires can shop for American policy beneath a taxpayer-funded chandelier. So congratulations, the miracle has arrived. The measles are back, the parasites are back, coal is back, Confederate flags are back, history is disappearing, the parks are being dismantled, the war that wasn't a war that we won on day one 5 months ago is somehow still eating tens of billions of dollars. Donald Trump's stupid fucking face is headed for passports and coins, and somewhere out there, a guy wearing wraparound oak lace and a bass boat t-shirt is screaming, "Hell yeah, we're owning the libs," while sprinting toward a checkout line carrying 3 recalled cucumbers and a case of anti-diarrheal medication. If this is what winning looks like, I'd hate to see the clearance aisle for losing. So I'll ask again, because I really, really want to know. Is America great again yet, or no?
Made of slot machines and lies. Every spotlight says I'm brilliant, strong, and wise. I'm the boss of every table, every vote, and every hand. If I lose, it's rigged. If I win, it's God's great plan. I got judges on the jukebox, pundits on the floor. Every headline on the ticker screams I'm destined for much more. Call me genius, call me savior, call me ruler of the night. But without a little cheating, things don't always go just right. When the cards start showing trouble and the dice don't like my name, I don't blame the odds or math, I say the house betrayed the game. If the ballots don't adore me and the juries don't comply, I shout witch hunt to the rafters and demand another try. Luck be a dictator, keep the table in my grip, stack the deck and tip the dealer so no power ever slips. Turn the courts into my casino, make the rules my elevator. If I'm losing, spin the wheel and crown me king a little later. Luck be a dictator, hush the press and mute the crowd. Let my red hat little chorus sing my praises extra loud. I don't want fair or honest, I want every pot much greater. Luck, don't be a lady now, tonight be my dictator. See my faithful in the gallery waving flags of grievance red. They'll bet pensions, rights, and futures just to keep me at the head. Every chant is like a jackpot pouring coins across the floor. Every rumor that I planted makes them worship me some more. I tell them laws are for the losers, truth is just a cheap roulette. Spin it fast and change the colors, you'll forget what numbers meant. They don't need a constitution, they just need my golden word. If the rules get in my way, I say the rules should not be heard. So when fact checkers get louder and the dealers count the chips, I demand they change the totals, call it fraud with shaking lips. If the people start to notice that the house is painted wrong, I just blast another slogan and break into a bigger song. Luck be a dictator, make the ballots break my way. Let the losers blame the system while I call it Judgment Day. Turn the checks and balances into props on my theater. Let my tantrums set the odds, make every losing card look later. Luck be a dictator, keep the cult inside my hall. Give them merchant angry sermons so they never see the fall. Democracy's a casino, I just wanna own the crater. Luck, don't be a lady now, tonight be my dictator. What if the chips stop stacking in my throne? What if the jury finally takes the phone? What if the cameras show the cracks beneath my crown? And every shaky little promise comes crashing down. I see ballots in the spotlight, protest in the aisle. I hear whispers from the dealers, this has all been rigged a while. If the wheel won't spin forever in my favor, what then, friend? I might ask to change the rules or just refuse to see the end. Luck, don't be a stranger, don't abandon me tonight. Wrap the system in confusion, keep my story burning bright. Turn the warnings into background noise and silence every hater. I can't win without your blessing, you must be my dictator. Bend the law and break the scale. Let my empire of resentment ride on one more lucky tale. But if justice finds the table and the people see me later, they'll say luck chose democracy and fired the dictator. Hey dealer, don't you dare reshuffle while I'm here. This is my casino, my country, my career. If the house won't play along and keep me ruler of the floor, then I'll rant about the system while the crowd walks out the door.
Be a part of the entertainment value of a lifetime.
I loved it.
It was the best performance I've seen in a lifetime.
I loved the show. I liked it very much. He's a very entertaining man. It's well worth the money.
Now appearing in Charlottetown, coming to Halifax November 6th to the 18th, and St. John November 20th through the 26th.
All right, I know I started reading the article and then I went into a speech there, but I want to finish the article here. Okay, the Hague-based International Criminal Court issued an arrest warrant for Netanyahu in 2024 for alleged war crimes during the Gaza war. Israel rejects the court's jurisdiction and denies committing the war crimes. The New York City mayor said in an interview broadcast on Saturday that the city's legal department is actively considering what the law might allow. Quote, I believe that Prime Minister Netanyahu belongs in The Hague. He's a war criminal who has been charged by the International Criminal Court, unquote. Mondami told a New York Times video podcast called The Interview. Donald Trump will always do whatever he can to protect pedophiles and war criminals, because that's exactly what he is. Okay, so that was the rest of it. All right, now I got a video here I want to play here. It's a little bit off topic, but it kind of illustrates or highlights something of what was out there that got Trump put into power, and why such people have led us to this. You know, this is the kind of people who led us to this kind of shit. So let's go to the video here and we'll come back.
And welcome to the show. So we have another one, guys. We have another apparent MAGA man who was just busted in a sting involving a minor. Shocking, I know. So here's the deal. I'm sure you guys have all seen or at least heard of the show called To Catch a Predator. Well, the host was NBC journalist Chris Hansen. He recently teamed up with a Louisiana sheriff's office, and they arrested this man. So the man you see here is 21-year-old Brennan Temple. In a recent video of this incident, which I will share below, Hansen, and here's the thing, I don't know what kind of copyright they have on the video, so I don't want to share it, and have it get blocked or what have you. So anyway, I'm going to leave the link for you guys in the description box below this video. But so Chris Hansen said Temple had this man you see here had sent explicit messages and images to a female that he believed was 15 years old. So they set up a meeting. Temple sets up a meeting to meet with this quote unquote 15-year-old. Well, he gets there and he walks into the house, and there's a, female who greeted him at the door. This was obviously not a minor. She meets him at the door, invites him in. He thinks it is. He believes that this is a 15-year-old. So he goes into the house. She says like, oh, this is my mom's house, but she's not home. She's at work, blah, blah, blah. So soon after Temple goes into this house, Chris Hansen comes out of another room and he confronts him. He confronts Temple, starts asking him, do you know why I'm talking to you, why we have cameras? And Temple admits that, yeah, I've seen this before. I've seen the show. He literally is physically shaking, and he admits to Chris Hansen that he sent the messages, and then he gives the most asinine excuse for why he is there. And he says, oh, well, I thought the girl was lying about her age. I thought that she was older than what she was saying. I thought she was older than 15. Really? Really? The stupidest argument you could possibly make. Teenage girls, they lie about their age, but they say they're older than what they are, not younger. You never see an 18-year-old or a 20-year-old lying and saying, oh, I'm only 15. It's the other way around, okay? I know this from experience, okay? Oh, yeah, I left my ID. I forgot it in my other purse. But yeah, I'm 18. Of course I'm 18 and old enough to get into this club. Don't I look it? Anyway, I'm just saying, like, that's how I imagine it would go down. In any case, so like I said, he's physically shaking. You can see him shaking. And, this is during the exchange with Chris Hansen. So eventually the police come out, they cuff Temple, they arrest him, and Temple goes, hey, can I call my mom? I got to let her know what's going down. Well, the camera crew's audio must have been really good because you can hear her what she's saying to him, and she's freaking out as any mother would be. And she's like, I hope this is a joke. And no, it's not a joke. So then the police captain takes the phone. He assures her, no, this is very real. This is where we're taking your son, where you can, come if you want to pick him up. And so he ends up being charged. He got charged with 2 different crimes of, something having to do with exposing himself to a minor, and then some solicitation, I think, of a minor. So here's why I'm saying that Temple, we believe, is a MAGA man. This is the back of his shirt. So as you can see here, there's a photo of Donald Trump in a pink suit for some reason and pink tie, which he would never wear because he's too insecure about his masculinity. But anyway, the top, you can see it has the acronym MILF. But instead of Moms, I'd like to, it says, Man, I love felons. Yeah, somebody made a punny. Man, I love felons. How ironic, isn't it? Yeah, we know, Temple. We know you love felons. We can tell. Trump does attract a certain type, doesn't he? Birds of a feather, your vibe attracts your tribe, and all that not so good stuff, all that jazz. So, yeah, he appears to be another MAGA man trying to do not some good things with a minor. But anyway, allegedly. So we have to let the case play out. Anyway, like I said, if you guys would like to watch the full video yourself, I'm going to drop the link in the description box below this video so you can take a look at that. But there you go, guys. In Louisiana, white guy, I would imagine his parents probably voted for Donald Trump or probably Republicans. Yeah. All right. No shock, really, anymore. All right. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, please share, and subscribe. Please donate if you can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.
Welcome back. Okay. So there you are. And he's not the only MAGA person there that they've caught doing crimes and stuff like that. It just seems like there's a lot of these people are criminals. So it's not a wonder that they would stand behind a man who would want to bring about the end of the United States, because in their criminal minds, that's a good thing. You have to be sort of, kind of fucked up in the head to be a criminal in the first place. I mean, think about the mob. Okay. I guess you could say every one of those fucking people in the history of the mob are people with issues, and a big ton of them. To kill the way some of these people killed and to defy the law at every opportunity, obviously they are where they belong. Okay, prison, dead, whatever, because they asked for it. And so MAGA people are kind of in that same category, I think. I mean, they're not like organized, but they're they all people of the same thought, the same opinion. Okay, and I guess that alone is what combines these folks. Okay, and who knows what these people talk about when we're not listening. Since a lot of them are criminals, a lot of them must have said some things that people overheard them say, but never really said, oh, you know what I heard this guy say? So who knows? Who fucking knows, how deep the corruption goes through MAGA itself, but I think it's safe to say that you could probably say a lot of MAGA, what's left of it, is still a bunch of criminals walking the streets, doing some nasty shit to people, okay? Okay, now here's something that was odd. This article, entitled, Trump Humiliation Caught on Hot Mic at World Cup. Trump's friend and ally, FIFA President Gianni Infantino, ran over to the president to attempt to move him out of the way of the victorious team. However, Trump was still lingering next to the team as smoke machines and confetti cannons kicked in. And the team's celebrations were captured on camera. The attention-seeking moment was referenced by Australian broadcaster SBS, which has been airing all the World Cup matches. As Trump was awkwardly loitering on the stage, an SBS commentator can be heard saying, quote, "They can edit him out of that," unquote, as footage of the celebratory moment with added U.S. president was shown on Australian TV. Okay. Another said Trump had tried to, quote, upstage and hog the limelight from Spain and called him, quote, a colossal embarrassment to America. His selfishness is childlike, unquote. Yeah, so, yeah, there's this, I don't know if this is going to show up here, but you can see this is the soccer players. Trump is in that blue standing there. They did edit him out, by the way, when they took pictures, okay? You know, because with AI technology and stuff, I mean, that was so easily done. Just zap, and he's out of it. But like I said, it shows nobody likes this guy. You know, and why should they? He's bringing the world to the brink here. Him, Netanyahu, and Putin. Those three right there are bringing the world to its knees. And, you know, I don't see how people couldn't be angry with him or upset with him right now. I don't, because of all the things that he's done, all the people the lives that he's ruined, all the people that he's manipulated, all the innocent people that are now with less, you know, than what they had. There's a special place in hell for a man like that, okay? There has to be. I mean, if we can't think along those lines, I don't know if even his death would matter or even bring any solace to all of us with the rage that we have, okay? Because he draws so much anger to himself that just seeing him die or obituary or something like that from a heart attack wouldn't be enough to satisfy us. That's how angry a lot of people are with him right now. They would just assume, you know, zap him with a phaser as look at him, okay? They just don't want him around, okay? And he's done the opposite of what every president has always tried to do before him, was to be liked, okay? Every single one of them tried to be liked. Trump, when he tries to be liked, he does it in a way where people hate him. Even when he's trying to be nice, he doesn't do it well enough to you know, he's incapable. He's incapable of that. I don't see how anybody can work with that bastard. I really don't. I just don't. I mean, I'd like to be a fly on the wall just to listen to the conversations people have with this man on a day-to-day basis, because I can't see how anybody could stay employed with this guy and not feel like, you knucklehead motherfucker. You know, beat him over the head with a fucking broom handle or something. I mean, I just, you know, the fact that he's being tested all the time, you know, to see how he is mentally, if he can remember things, if he knows where he is, what year. The fact that he's already going through this right now should be enough evidence to say, okay, he's got to step down. We have to do something here. Because if we have a war going on right now, we don't want a guy whose mind is falling to pieces trying to run a war. We want somebody who's clear-minded, who knows what he's doing, to get in there behind this thing, okay? Because he's ruined his image and ours just by the year and a half he's been president. Putting somebody else to replace him might change a little bit of the attitude around the world. They might think about talking peace with somebody else. Okay, maybe. You know, maybe they won't, because he was attached to the Trump administration. But, you know, it would show that, you know, we here are not going to let this guy do things when he's got one foot in the grave and the other on a banana peel here. Okay? I mean, let's face it, folks. I mean, would you want somebody like Trump driving the school bus with your kids in it? Okay, you could die of a heart attack while he's driving. That's just how close he is, you know, to it. I mean, he don't eat anything but fucking fast food crap. Okay, they got a picture of what do they call DoorDash deliverer bringing him McDonald's food, for Christ's sake. I mean, so he won't even eat healthily, you know, and he won't even listen to his doctors. He's still stuffing French fries and, you know, hamburgers down his throat, which is why he's so bloated all the time, okay? I mean, Christ. I mean, of all people to be eating that, you'd say, oh, maybe he'll die quick because he's eating all that junk food. No, not this guy. The devil's got him, you know, wrapped right around its finger, okay? Only the good die young, okay? But a guy like Trump, he'll live forever, that son of a bitch. He could be eating, you know, sorry here. He could be eating crap food for the rest of his life, you know, and it won't bother him. But at some point, the mind is failing him, okay? And for people out there that used to criticize Biden, and still do, by the way, that his mind was falling apart in the last election, I want you to understand, Biden is still out there doing things, okay? He's still cognizant, okay? His voice might sound a little weak, but, you know, he's in better shape right now than Donald Trump is, okay? He is. When you think about it, I mean, you know, we could have Biden back just to finish off the rest of Trump's term, because Trump, you know, what can I say? If he even survives to finish his term, his second term as president, by the end of it, if, you know, dementia not fading away, he could still end up being too feeble-minded, too, you know, he'll look like Mitch McConnell towards the end, okay? He'll just not be there. I mean, is this the guy you want running your country, people? I mean, you couldn't stand it when Biden couldn't do a goddamn debate, okay? That made him look bad, okay? You couldn't stand that. Everybody screamed, he's got to go, he's got to go, okay? Well, how is this any better? I mean, that's making me pissed off, because you guys stood up against a guy who was old, okay, but, you know, he still did a good job while he was in there, and he had a good second, you know, Kamala Harris. Okay, so you know, if he died while he was still president, at least she would be there. And she was a smart and willing person to follow Biden's ideas, okay? So, like I said, we had a win-win situation there, and we dropped it because people couldn't stand a black woman being president in this country, okay? Our racism finally has bit us hard in the ass, okay? It's cost us everything. It's cost us our country. It's cost us our fucking livelihoods. And I after the historical way we've treated people in this country that are of color and of different nationalities, I would say it was a long time coming, that our resilience to try to change eventually brought us down this path, and this is where we are, okay? So I hope people kind of bear that aspect of historically where we are right now and why we're here. There's a lot of elements that brought us here. It isn't just one man. It wasn't just one man. It was a man who took advantage of what he knew ran underneath America, racism. He knew to tap into that. A lot of fanatics out there would love to have a guy like that in the White House, and he knew that. You know, he fucking knew that. And because we set ourselves up to be prey to a jackass oligarch like Trump, now we're going to pay the price. Okay, that's why I'm saying that what's going to happen at the end of this year is going to make next year look like a fucking nightmare of epic proportions that we haven't seen probably since the Civil War. Okay, this year will be our last happy memory year, and I think, and after this, all of us will be affected in ways we didn't think would happen because we tried to hide from it. We tried to pretend it wasn't happening. And for many of us, that means we're not paying attention to what's going on across the sea. what's going on here at home. We're not watching the news because it's too depressing. But sometimes when something is too depressing, that's a sign that you need to stand up and do something. Okay? You don't sit next to somebody and watching them feeling sick and sicker and sicker and not do anything. You take action. You get up and help the guy to the hospital. Well, folks, I mean, we're all sitting in the living room and we're watching our country suffocating, you know, from within. And we're watching ourselves being cut off from friends we had. We're watching our military dying for something that they shouldn't be dying of. I mean, this is the most ridiculous, illegal war this country, I feel, has fought. I mean, next to Vietnam, I think, you know, that was another debacle. But this war can only escalate because of the man we got in there. It won't end. It won't end unless Trump ends and somebody replaces him. That's the only way we're going to actually come out of this thing with something left, if there's anything left to have. But we're going to be recovering from this mess for a good decade and a half. I mean, it's going to take years. Years, people. You don't realize how much damage he's done. Okay? It took a long time before Trump to get where we were, to have, you know, a good military, you know, and a decent, you know, lifestyle, I guess, if you want to call it decent. But there was still problems, things that needed to be fixed. And like I said, people saw that as opportunities to rise up in the country, to get into seats of power by preying on people's fears about, oh, you know, we can help fix you with your wages or something, you know, or get you health care. And then they don't do it. Okay? But they use that as a fear to get you to vote for them. You see, corruption. It wiggled its way right up to the top. That was the one thing Bernie Sanders was very, very afraid of, that the corruption would get that high. He'd been fighting that for years. Money in politics was what was killing this guy. That was the real cancer in our country. Not like when they said Nixon's administration had a cancer on it, you know, with people leaking out stuff. No, the real cancer in America has been the money. And when people use that as a means to gain what they want, they weaponize money to get what they want. That means other people are not going to get what they want, and they're going to continue not getting what they want or need until everything snowballs into this big fucking boulder. Okay, and it starts to flatten your lives. And that's what's happening. Okay? I've seen that. I'm 54 years old, and I've seen how that has changed this country from the time I was small to now. America only got worse. It only got worse. It didn't get better. It got fucking worse. And I knew that at some point the bill was going to come due. The bill was going to come due for everything that was done. Okay? The 80s was a big fucking red light right there. The crazy spending, the people building up debt, putting their houses on the fucking auction block, you know, or whatever, using them as collateral, you know, people mortgaging their homes. Okay, I knew there was going to be a problem with that. The math just didn't work. But you can't, when people are getting money in their hands and they're able to go buy a sauna or a goddamn boat or something, they don't care until the bank decides to take it away from you. Okay, because you're not making your payments, and because you lost a job so you can't make your payments. You see, people were very short-sighted in the 80s. And in the 90s, we started struggling to make those payments, and it led to the 2007 housing mess era, okay? So, like I said, this too is going to have a problem at the end, very short time. I mean, we've been sitting on this thing since January now. All these things building up since January. There's going to be a point of break, and it's not going to be very long. That's what I'm saying. I don't know when it will happen. I'm guessing before the end of the year, something's going to get let go. Something's going to let go, and we're going to start seeing some big fucking problems. Okay, the stock market, gas prices, which will grind the economy to a halt, stop capitalism, as it were. People are not going to be able to afford anything, you know. So anyway, like I said, this, I hope you see the other video before this one here, and just, you know, listen to it. I know he's Kyle can be like hyperactive, but in his style of giving out the news, he has facts, and facts, people, are hard to come by these days, and you know, you got to know where to get them. And he has, you know, good sources, I find, and you know, he knows pretty much what he's talking about. A lot of things that he said, you know, like last year came to be. So this is a time to be listening to people other than the fucking news, Fox News or whatever news on TV. You got to shut them off. They're not telling you something that you need to hear. Okay? So anyway, I hope everybody has a great week, and subscribe, comment, share, and keep your ears open for any health related issues, because there's a lot of going on out there that you may not be aware of there because of RFK and all the shit he's not doing to keep us safe. And help each other. Help each other. For Christ's sake, help each other out there, because those days, like I was indicating to you, they're coming. And people are going to be desperate. They're going to be panicked. They're going to be anxious. They're going to be, you know, you're going to have to be helpful to one another. Combine your resources. That's the best thing I can think of, is combine your resources. Share what you have. Okay? Try to, you know, make arrangements for carpooling. Carpooling is a good thing, okay? You know, somebody can help somebody around a little bit, so that way, you know, the other person later can have gas in his car or her car, and they could do stuff, you know, together, you know, kind of like kill two birds with one stone. And I know people don't like to, a lot of people don't like to feel obligated to somebody, but you're going to have to put that discomfort aside. You will be forced to put that discomfort aside when the time is right for you. And I guess this is going to be a learning moment for a lot of us. Whether you want to be partly responsible for somebody's livelihood just dying, or just deciding, no, I'm not going to let this happen, and do something. Okay? We're going to really have to come together. You know, the way people did after 9/11 to try to help New Yorkers, we're going to have to do that now. Okay? We're going to have to come together. Otherwise, what are we fighting for? What the hell are we bitching about? You know, the country should die. If we're the kind of people who don't want to lift a finger to help anybody else, we should die as a nation. Okay? That's how we've lost our way. So please, please, for the love of God, try and be helpful to people. Okay? Because time is coming. You're going to have to be. All right. I'll talk to you later. Take care.